Good evening, everyone. So, people will probably view this or start viewing this as it goes live. As you can see on your thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about cops buying Tombstone cameras. So, if you view this on DLive, you guys already know what I'm talking about over there. And then I'm going to talk about some other stuff. I'm going to talk about the particle collider they're putting in New York. So I'm going to cover some articles that came out today. I'm going to cover some other stuff. So if you're just joining now, this is live call-in. This is the Kingsman Report live podcast. It's the news everyone ignores. My name is Ryan. All the chats are integrated, so if you are on YouTube, if you are on DLive, if you are on Twitch, or you're on Periscope, your messages will go back and forth with each other. So your chat might look a little different. So anyways, I'm going to talk about this, cops buying Tombstone cameras, and I'm going to talk about some news leading up to there. I have probably about 12, 13 articles I'm going to cover. Like I said, if you're on DLive, then you probably already heard me say this. And if you want to call in, the number scrolling across the bottom of the screen, 1-408-638-0968, and enter the meeting ID 534-233-4758. We're on Facebook right now, DLive, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. So we're streaming on all platforms right now. So if one goes down, you can jump on another one. So here we go. First article here is Pigeon Bot, the future of drones. So this article says, take a look at your standard post-apocalyptic killer robot dystopia, and you'll notice a glaring omission. You'll see people-shaped robots, motorcycle robots, helicopter robots, pretty lady robots, and robots made out of whatever Capri Sun used to turn people into those commercials from the 90s. Conspicuously absent, however, are robots that nom on popcorn and drop a wet bump on your car right after you get it washed. Maybe that's why scientists at Stanford University's Lentink lab had developed Pigeon Bot, an unmanned aerial vehicle modeled after nature's favorite cowboy hat-wearing avians. If you guys don't know what that reference to, the cowboy hat thing, somebody was, I covered the article, somebody was gluing pigeon hats on, or someone was gluing tiny little cowboy hats and dapper little hats all over pigeons over in Las Vegas, and people were taking pictures of it. It was it was funny. I covered the article. Some people, like Peter or whoever the hell was over there, were saying that they're gonna, try to find out who's doing it. I don't think they ever found out who's doing it, but someone was gluing dapper hats on pigeons. I thought it was funny. So this says, "All hail Pigeon Bot, destroyer of worlds." I mean, this thing doesn't look too elaborate. So it goes on to say, Pigeon Bot is a brainchild of Eric Chang, Laura Y. Matloff, Amanda K. Stowers, and David Lintic, as laid out in a research paper published in Science Robots on January 16, 2020. These researchers from the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Stanford set out to create a more nimble, graceful drone capable of adapting to environmental shifts with the same ease as dead-eyed vermin that gang up on you every time you walk under an overpass and crap on your car. The team looked to nature for guidance, collecting dead pigeons and experimenting on their decay wings in what scientists refer to as a, quote, sea luster Spider-Man villain origin story. They discovered that pigeon wings, when affixed to a static metal body, could be used to easily maneuver flying robots with a single simulated muscle movement, allowing for banking turns. They cited pigeon feathers as being part of the key to their success, pointing out that they developed to stick to each other like Velcro, allowing them to automatically fill any gaps in a bird's wingspan. With pigeons more or less out of the way, the door now open for even more grotesque creatures to serve as the inspiration for future Automons. With any luck, by this time next year, we'll finally have robo-ferrets. So I just thought it was interesting, but this isn't, I mean, this, I have another article on robots that I'm going to read, and like I've said, it's been passed on over in DLive, so we constantly do the news all day over in DLive. So Friday, I'm going to start accumulating articles that I do through the week and just do a Friday show that streams to everybody. Hang on a second. This article says, asteroid that shot fireball at us could be dangerous to life on Earth. More of this worry about what's coming at you type stuff. Astronomers have traced a 2017 fireball over Japan to a massive nearby asteroid that could eventually break up and shower Earth with dangerous meteors. It was around 1 a.m. local time on April 29, 2017, when an exponentially bright and slow fireball lit up the skies over Kyoto, Japan. Later, a team of researchers from the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, Kyoto Sango University, KSU, and the Nippon Meteor Society found the dust particle that flamed out in grand style that evening had an orbit similar to the double binary asteroid 2003 YT1. We uncovered the fireball's true identity. Toshihiro Kasuga, a visiting scientist at NAOJ and KSU, said in a release Wednesday, the 2017 fireball and its parent asteroid gave us a behind-the-scenes look at meteors. The team believes that at some point in the past, 2003 YT1 cracked under pressure from something called a Yorp effect. That essentially caused it to twist in an odd way as it rotated. That break in the asteroid, even a small one, can release dust that makes its way to our atmosphere and burns up fireballs. Most dust particles will burn up harmlessly in our atmosphere, but if 2003 YT1 completely breaks apart into smaller asteroids, it could eventually pose a threat. The double asteroid is a bit of a monster, with a bigger rock measuring about 1.2 miles and orbited by a 690-foot companion. The potential breakup of the rock could be dangerous to life on Earth. Kasuga says, quote, those resulting asteroids could hit Earth in the next 10 million years or so. So probably nothing to worry about anytime soon, but 2003 YT1 is a reminder that the situation in space is always changing and is worth keeping a close eye, or thousands of eyes on the sky. So here's some Antarctic experiments reveal strange ghost particles that physicists can't explain. It says when physicists detect signals of high energy neutrinos, coming from a rather unlikely direction in the cosmos, they naturally went looking for a powerful source that might explain it. An intense examination of the most likely origins of these reactive forms of, quote, ghost particles has now come up empty-handed, opening the way for more exotic speculations over what might be behind the odd signals. Traveling through 7 years of data from the neutrino hunting ice cube experiment, a large team of researchers from around the globe are now forced to admit conventional explanations for the discovery are looking pretty weak. Neutrinos are electron-like members of the Stanford model of fundamental particles. Unlike electrons, they have insanely small masses and no charge. This slim body neutrality means neutrinos don't care to stop and chat with other particles. Atomic decay deep inside the sun sends torrents of them through the planet every second, with only a fraction passing close enough to an atom to cause noticeable response. To catch the rare flash neutrino smashing into a frozen water molecule, the Ice Cube Observatory uses long strings of sensitive light-capturing equipment buried under Antarctic ice. For nearly a decade, it has been recorded hundreds of flashes per day, building a vast database of information on the directions and energies of neutrinos washing over the Earth. But it's not the only game in town. From an altitude of nearly 40 kilometers above the Antarctic, suspended from a helium balloon, NASA's Antarctic Impulsive Transit Antenna, or ANITA, captures hints of neutrinos with ridiculously high energies smashing into atoms in the atmosphere. It's still early days for ANITA, but already its a few flights over the past couple of years have successfully spotted several telltale flashes of the energetic particles. Strangely, two of the signals have come not from the empty sky above, but through the planet itself. For a lazy neutrino fresh from the sun, this wouldn't be all that surprising. But at the kind of energies recorded by ANITA, neutrons become real socialites, merging with our planet's atoms at much higher rate to leave very few untouched. It's commonly said that neutrinos are, quote, elusive or ghostly particles because of their remarkable ability to pass through material without smashing into something, says astrophysicist Alec Pizzuto from the University of Wisconsin. But at these incredible energies, neutrinos are like bulls in a china shop. They become much more likely to interact with particles on Earth. Finding a couple of, quote, bullish neutrinos, making it all the way through the planet demands some kind of explanation. Of course, they would just be chance discoveries of incredibly rare examples. Being so lucky isn't out of the question, but it's far more likely that the particles detected had struck the planet as part of a massive crowd. High-energy neutrinos tend to be born in interactions between cosmic rays and atomic nuclei before being given a hard push by strong magnetic fields deep in the cosmos. Because of this, the researchers worked out statistics on how many high-energy neutrinos it would take to have a good chance of ANITA spotting them, and dug through Ice Cube's data to find potential events that could be responsible for making them in high numbers. The process makes the Ice Cube a remarkable tool to follow up the ANITA observations, because for each anomalous event that ANITA detects, Ice Cube should have detected many, many more, says physicist Anastasia Barbano of the University of Geneva in Switzerland, which in these cases we didn't, so where to now then? First off, it's worth keeping in mind that even the most well-funded professional experiments can be susceptible to errors. Less than a decade ago, there was a flurry of excitement over the possibility of finding neutrinos moving faster than light, a finding that was tested at length before being found to be more than likely a mistake. A few findings are currently available on the preprint site arxiv.org, with a submission underway to the Astrophysical Journal, where the results will receive greater scrutiny from the scientific community. But there are a few tantalizing possibilities we can consider even now, and even dare to imagine, explanations outside of established physics. Our analysis ruled out the only remaining standard model astrophysical explanation of anomalous ANITA events, says Pizzuto. So now if these events are real and not just due to oddities in the detector, then they could be pointing to physics beyond the standard model. One possibility is cosmic accelerators pumping out bursts of neutrinos at timescales too brief for scientists to catch with current technology. If we want to really get wild, we might even consider a role for dark matter, or imagine new kinds of particles that act like high-energy neutrinos but are produced in other ways. There's a lot of room for questions, and right now our search for neutrinos' secrets is still in its infancy. With so much to learn, a lot of hope is being pinned on neutrinos, providing insight into big mysteries that could lead the way to new physics. Ice Cube and Anita will no doubt be looking out for more of these puzzling high-energy ghosts in the hope of pushing the limits on physics. If you guys want more of this, all the links that I read are in the description below the video on YouTube, of course. But you guys can go there and check these links out for yourself. This article says, study finds billions of quantum entangled electrons in, quote, strange metal. In a new study, U.S. and Austrian physicists have observed quantum entanglement among billions and billions of flowing electrons and quantum-critical material. The research, which appears this week in Science, examined the electron and magnetic behavior of a, quote, strong metal compound of ytterbium, rhodium, and silicon as it both neared and passed through critical transition at the boundary between two well-studied quantum phases. The study at Rice University and Vienna University of Technology provides the strongest direct evidence to date of entanglement's role in bringing about quantum criticality, said study co-author Kwame C. of Rice. When we think about quantum entanglement, we think about all things, C said. We don't associate it with microscopic objects, but at quantum critical point, things are so collective that we have this chance to see the effects of entanglement, even in a metallic film that contains billions of quantum mechanical objects. C, a theoretical physicist and director of the Rice Center for Quantum Materials, has spent more than 2 decades studying what happens when materials like strange metals and high-temperature superconductors change quantum phases. Better understanding such materials could be the door to new technologies in computing, communications, and more. The international team overcame several challenges to get the result. TU Wien researchers developed a highly complex material synthesis technique to produce ultra-pure films containing 1 part ytterbium for every 2 parts of rhodium and silicon. At absolute zero temperature, the material undergoes a transition from one quantum phase that forms a magnetic order to another that does not. At Rice, a study co-led author Xingwei Li, then graduate student in the lab of co-author and RCQ and member Junichiro Kono, performed terahertz I can't even pronounce that word right now. Spectroscopy, I guess, experiments on the films at temperatures as low as 1.4 Kelvin. The terahertz measurements revealed the optical conductivity of the YBRHSI-2 films as they were cooled to quantum critical point that marked the transition from one quantum phase to another. With strange metals, there is an unusual connection between electrical resistance and temperature, said corresponding author Syke Buehler, I guess, from Peshin of TU Wien's Institute for Solid State Physics. In contrast to simple metals such as copper or gold, this does not seem to be due to thermal movement of the atoms, but to quantum fluctuations at the absolute zero temperature. To measure optical conductivity, Li shined coherent electromagnetic radiation in terahertz frequency range on top of the films and analyzed the amount of terahertz rays that pass through as function of frequency and temperature. The experiments revealed frequency over temperature scaling, a telltale sign of quantum criticality. Man, I can't speak tonight, the author said. If you want to read more of this, then you can read it over on in the link in the description. Hold on just a second. So Paul Revere 11 says they transmitted 90% of the info. Where did the 10% go? Did it pass through another dimension and not pass through like it was evasive? It's probably dark matter. Like it said, they don't know. No one knows exactly what dark matter is entirely. This article says flu closes entire Illinois school district. So this is on the flu epidemic going around. An entire Illinois school district closed down to a flu outbreak in Bushnell Prairie City, according to a local report. District leaders decided to close schools on Thursday and Friday after excessive numbers of students were exhibiting flu-like symptoms, a spokesperson told WQAD in Moline, Illinois. Bushnell Prairie Schools, city schools put out an announcement on their Facebook page to warn students and parents about the increasing spread of the illness. Classrooms are now empty, as the district superintendent Kathy Dinger said. Canceling school is the first step in getting all students healthy, according to local WGEM, another local television affiliate. Signs first began that this was a growing problem when the district approached having 70 absent students. Jeez. We're just under 300, so when we're approaching 70 students being absent, we knew it was time to start taking a look to put some better preventative measures in place, Dinger said. Vegan cats. That's Chuck. Says a bad school pizza. The district plans to reopen on Tuesday, January 21st, as long as students are feeling healthy and their contagious period has passed. We are fortunate that we have a positive and trusting school community that knows we put staff and students first. Our primary focus is to keep children safe and get them through this period, Dinger said. Statistics from the Centers for Disease Control, who we trust oh so much with their statistics because, you know, they tell us the truth about everything, show that flu activity is high in Illinois and Iowa and Wisconsin. So if you want a link to this article, that is also in the description, and you can read up on that. If you want videos about the truth about the flu illness and their, yes, I'm going to say this, YouTube, vaccinations, follow Rachel Seller on Instagram, the Forensic Nurse. You can learn all about the inserts. You can learn about everything from her. She is a doctor, a nurse. This article says 3 gun bills, including 1 handgun a month law, passed Virginia Senate. And I can't. The reason it's white like that is because I can't. It won't translate over to Instapaper. So if you don't know what's going on in Virginia, because I mean you're distracted by everything else going on in your lives, and which I mean is understandably what they want you to do. So they've outlawed anyone over there teaching hand-to-hand combat. They've outlawed certain karate classes, hand-to-hand combat, certain ammunition. They want to track everyone going in and out of shooting ranges. They're basically cracking down on everybody over there, so they know who's buying guns, when these people are buying guns, what type of guns they use, what type of ammunition they use. So whenever they try to go in here and pass a legislation to confiscate the guns from the good people over in Virginia, which they're pretty heated because, I mean, they commented on the video Paul and I did yesterday. They're going to know exactly where to go. So they're trying to track everybody right now is what's going on in Virginia. They also have a emergency, well, it was a state of emergency has been filed in the state of Virginia from tonight at 5 p.m. until Monday at 5 p.m. They don't want anybody protesting on Capitol grounds with a firearm. So don't do that. I'm not saying go do that. I'm saying do not do that. Use your brain. But what I will say is they will probably, in the next article I'm going to read, but what they'll probably do is put some Antifa characters over there to go and probably try to initiate violence and blow things out of proportion, and then that'll get the ball rolling. I hope that is not what happens, but it is a possibility it could happen. So I just continue to pray for what's going on in Virginia. Those people deserve to have their rights. They're law-abiding citizens. There's a reason on their flag it says, "Thus always the tyrant." And if you look at the Virginia flag, You see a person standing on the chest of a tyrant. Hello, Adam. How are you? I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Paul Revere says, dark matter is all about a miscalculation of math of the mass. The mass is the space dust crystallized. They can't figure out that dust in space has mass even when separated by vast distances. Adam, I'll get to that video here in a little bit. I'm doing my regular show at 7 p.m. on all platforms, and then whenever I get done here, guys, I'm gonna shut down on all platforms. I'm gonna come hang out with you guys over on DLive, because then we can really talk crap. So we're not censored on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope, because you guys want to take everyone else's First Amendment away and not allow us to say anything. So the article says, Richmond, Virginia lawmakers of Virginia's Senate have passed 3 gun measures, sending to the House for consideration. The 3 bills include requiring background checks on all firearm sales, limiting gun purchases to 1 in a 30-day period, and allowing localites to ban guns from public events. State Bill 35, which would allow localites to ban guns from public events, actually would repeal the current law that restricts them from enforcing ordinance that would prohibit the purchase, possession, transfer, ownership, carry, storage, or transport of firearms or ammunition. State Bill 69 amends the current law, allowing Virginia residents to purchase 1 handgun a month or in a 30-day period. And State Bill 70 requires a background check on all private transfers of firearms. Basically, that's a straw sell. We do it in the South. I mean, that's, you buy a gun for somebody, then you can straw sell it to the next guy. We still have it in Oklahoma. They still do it in Texas. It's straw sell. You can gift it, but now they want to know who you're buying guns for and gifting them to, I suppose, in Virginia, so they can find out who's got the guns and come knock on your door with a, Gestapo whenever they start ripping people's guns out of their hands. All 3 bills were passed along party lines. Democrats said they were reasonable measures that would improve public safety while respecting the rights of law-abiding gun owners. Bogus. They said the public had made clear by voting for Democrats in recent elections that new gun laws were needed. Bogus. Republicans... Okay, so if you guys don't know who Northam is, he is that creep jerk-off. I gotta watch my language, guys, because I'm on other platforms. He was that creep jerk-off that was on the radio that talked about full-term abortions. They want to keep the babies alive, and they want to harvest their organs after they get consent from the mother by keeping them alive in a separate wing of the hospital, and then, extract all the organs from them. The guy's a total creep, and if you're for full-term abortions and you don't agree with what I'm saying, I don't give a crap. I am pro-life. If you can't keep your junk in your pants, that's on you. You know what I mean? Wear protection. Do something else, but don't go out and sleep with everyone and then think that because you made a mistake, is what you call it, you're just going to go terminate a life because you weren't responsible. Pull your head out of your butt. Anyways, so I'll probably get the boot here pretty soon from Facebook just for even saying that, because on Facebook you got to pander to all the the sexual deviancy that's going on in the world, the depravity. You got to agree with certain rules and all this social engineering crap that's going on. And if we speak up about it, they start blocking us off our Facebook pages, blocking us off our YouTube pages. I don't give a crap. We got a place we can go now, and we can talk about this stuff. And then I can upload those videos to YouTube, which will probably get deleted later because they're a bunch of book-burning jerk-offs. Yes, you, YouTube. This may be what you think is safety, but it's not, said Republican Senator Bill Stanley. One bill, State Bill 16, was struck from the record, which included the ban on assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, bump stocks, and silencers. The NRA released a statement following the approval of the slew of gun bills. In a quote, it said, "Regrettably, Virginia lawmakers approve a series of measures today that will make it harder for law-abiding Virginians to protect themselves, while doing nothing to stop criminals, because, the criminals always get the guns. If you don't know what's going on over in, where was that? anyways, they rolled over into 2020. I want to say it's Ohio, somewhere over there. They already had like 7 murders in the first week. I mean, so they're going to be Chicago 2.0 over there, because you take the guns away from the law-abiding citizens. Guess who always has the guns? The criminals. They'll find a way to get the guns. It's not, and then you take all the guns away from the people that try to protect themselves, and this is what happens. You got crime run rampant because you've disarmed law-abiding citizens. The whole process of the way you guys think, I don't get it. I honestly, I don't understand. Going to the chat here, Paul Revere, shall not be infringed upon. What's so hard about that? Retards. Yes, we said retards. And don't take that. Look, if you're listening to this and you have a liberal ideology, they're words. If words offend you, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sorry. If they say something over there, it's not what I'm saying. I'm not apologizing for it. You guys have taken, we can't even say nice stuff to anybody anymore because you guys strike it down. So if you're nice, then that's sexual harassment towards a woman. I don't understand this anymore. Adam says, nope, there's an ad from a nearby town making sure to mention twice that it has nothing to do with Richmond, but everything to do with a FF. You don't know what a FF is? It starts with a F, ends with an ulce, and the other word starts with an F and ends with a lag. So you can't say that. You can't say that word on YouTube. You can't say false flag. So we got people hopping up over and see, you guys can see YouTube chat. Injetta Krecha says the AI algorithm wants you to assimilate, become Michelle Obama. Words matter. Atamori says, hi everyone, reporting in from behind enemy lines. We're in Richmond, Virginia. If you would like to call in, call that number scrolling across the bottom of your screen, 1408-638-0968. Enter the meeting ID 534-233-4758. There's guys that we all watch over on DLive, YouTube, everywhere. They're going there to IRL stream. So there's going to be guys that are in the media, underground media, that are going to be there streaming. So it says, yes, Virginia, they want to seize your guns. You can say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to read this because he's typing a lot right now. It says, here are the relevant gun control-related bills they are trying to pass in Virginia. State Bill 16, State Bill 18, State Bill 64, State Bill 67, and now State Bill 70 that you should know about. If these bills are passed, it will outlaw not only the sale or transfer, but also the possession of most firearms, and with a stroke of a pen. Virginia will have the strictest gun laws of any state. As a concealed carries, I'm guessing that's what a CCW, who carries every day. I was already conflicted about showing up at the VCDL lobby day on January 20th armed, but Northam has made that choice for me, leaving me exposed as a potential victim. Adam says, Luke, from where we are, change, I guess, is going. Paul says, here's to you from a bicentennial patriot family at Restream Bot. Restream Bot is the guy that's, it puts it everywhere. So I have to use artificial intelligence to spread everything out. So, I mean, I do use it, but they're still jerk off. So, let's see where everybody's watching at right now. So on Facebook, we got people on Facebook. I can't see who's watching on Periscope. Hang on. So Facebook, YouTube, and obviously DLive, you can see those numbers there. So the article goes on to say, we are pleased one of the most egregious gun confiscation bills was pulled from consideration. The NRA will continue our work with lawmakers to find solutions and address the root cause of violent crime rather than pushing honest, hardworking Virginians. Dude, we're with you. From Oklahoma to Virginia, we're with you guys. Have a lemon. Governor Ralph Northam has a package of gun legislation that he's pushing forward to include prohibiting all individuals subject to final protective orders from possessing firearms, requiring that lots of stolen firearms be reported to enforcement within 24 hours, and creating a extreme risk protective order. Other legislation that has been filed including banning indoor shooting ranges at offices where there are more than 50 employees. That was one of the dumb ones that they did there. That would include a shooting range at the NRA headquarters, which is located in Northern Virginia. That bill has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Republicans and gun rights groups have pledged stiff resistance, and more than 100 counties, cities, and towns have declared themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries and have vowed to oppose any new, quote, unconstitutional restrictions on guns. Keep fighting back. We're praying for you guys. Don't do anything dumb. You know what I mean? Not that I think you guys will, but I will say this, and I said it before, I think possibly old George Soros, and I'm going to say that too because I don't care, George Soros will probably try to implant some of his characters within your guys' protest over there. So, keep your head on a swivel. Pray for each other before you go. Just keep your eyes peeled because he is notorious for getting people to infiltrate these protests and then act out, and then they gives them a reason to say, well, look, this is why we need gun control. So, this article, days before Virginia gun rally, FBI arrests 3 alleged white supremacists. This could be, very well, some of those characters that I'm speaking about, because if you don't know this, I covered an article that had to do with Ukraine. White supremacists from the Ukraine that were implanted in the Hong Kong protest that were George Soros puppets. So, that's what this is what the guy does. So, our Virginian friend over here, Adam says, what the F they gonna do if 100,000 people bring guns anyways? Yeah, Northam is already painting a narrative that many of the expected 100,000 plus people expected to show up in Richmond for the rally are coming from other states. Here's the thing about that, and this is from what I understand, and how militia. So all you got to do is remember what happened on the Bundy Ranch. So if you take that into consideration, and other militias in other states that went in to support the Bundys whenever they were going through their ordeal there, I would not be surprised if there are people from other militias that come over and they do join you guys in a peaceful protest. I wouldn't put it past other militia members from other states to come to show their support. Just watch out for anyone that's got, just watch body language. You guys know what you're looking for. Just be prepared, be ready, pray for each other. Automori says, consider these facts. Virginia is home of the NRA, the VCDL, the GOA, and Virginia has the 5th largest number of gun owners by state. If it can happen here, it can happen in your state. And I hope it doesn't ever happen here. Paul Revere says, my advice, just liberate, either succeed from Virginia and go to West Virginia or make a new state. I'm going to say this. I think another one popped up on there. It will pop up. Just watch out for the people you don't recognize, even if they're militia members from other states. Just keep an eye out for that type of stuff over there. You guys know what you're doing. I mean, Oklahoma supports you. I hope they never do it here. We just passed in Oklahoma. We have a pro Second Amendment governor in our state of Oklahoma. He's pro Second Amendment. We have a constitutional carry in this state. So as of October, I believe October last year, you're allowed to carry your sidearm in public. Just not, your usual places like banks and places of that nature. So, I mean, I'm praying and I'm hoping nothing happens over there. I'm just, I don't know what to think of it right now. I'm trying to get a hold of some people in Virginia. They've been nice enough to allow me in their militia group over on Facebook, and I don't ever bring anything out of there. I don't ever, mention any of their names like that. I just read it to keep up with what's going on because all those people are in the now there. Janita Kresha says, I found and bought a military training book, 1975, detailing the germ of an Nani invention and use of psyops on masses of people. It's compared psi then and in future to development of missiles and nukes. They are crafting a narrative which we must dispel, that we are just a bunch of racists. And we don't believe that. They say that about us in Oklahoma too. It's ridiculous. That's this liberal ideology. If you don't agree with that ideology, if you won't surrender your guns, if you don't pander to free the nipple movement, if you don't pander to any of that crap, what they do is they call you a racist, or they resort to name calling. They're a bunch of immature morons. Atamori says, making good people helpless will not make bad people harmless. We must stand for the Second Amendment, as the Second Amendment was written to preserve all of our other rights. It goes on to say, for those coming to Richmond, please stand strong, but with peace in your heart, as they are just looking for an excuse to touch something off. And that is exactly what it is. So if anyone listens to this anywhere, this will be on podcast form. Whenever I'm done, I'll upload it there. If you are listening to this anywhere, if you are in a militia and you plan on traveling to Virginia, like I said, we know some underground reporters that'll be IRL streaming from there, and they'll be covering it. Be responsible. Don't go and act crazy. Just be there to exercise your First Amendment and do a peaceful protest. Don't act like morons. Use your heads. Don't be that guy. Paul Revere says, articles of statehood are available online. Any citizen can fill them out and get some framers and sign, then file with the federal government. Atamori says, here's what you need to know if you are coming here. He's going to post in the link there. While he's posting that, and like I said, if you want to call in, you can call the number scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I'd love to hear from some people from Virginia. This article says, will the U.S. obsession with sanctions destroy the dollar? And I probably won't read entirely into this because we're so up in the air with what's going on with the trade deals that are being signed with, pretty much everything that's going on. So some are saying the economy's doing great. Some are saying it's doing bad. There's a rumor going around that we're going to go to a cryptocurrency, but that rumor has been going around for at least 5 months, and I covered those articles. It might be a possibility if China goes to a digital yuan so that they're able to trade on the same wavelength. Atamori says there is a lot of problems with the site where the rally is scheduled to occur. So this article, hang on just a second. The problem is that the ground where the rally is being held in Richmond is going to be very tight, and it elevates, creating a funnel with many surrounding the Capitol are within less than 600 yards. Not good. Most of the high buildings surrounding the Capitol are within less than 600 yards. I'm going to go ahead and jump past this. If you want to read anything about this, sanctions devaluing the dollar, the link's in the description on YouTube. It's also in my Discord. If you haven't joined my Discord, that link, you go to my About section on YouTube, you can find it there. And if you're on D Live, you can go to my About set, or you can just ask me for it. I'll put the link over in the chat. This article, I don't know if many people have seen this article. I tend to tell people about this, and they're like, what in the crap? This article is Department of Energy. New York will be home to a new particle collider. So like I said, if you're just joining now, these are articles that we've covered over on D Live throughout the week. I've compiled a bunch of these articles so I can stream a show on Friday, and we can discuss these on all the other platforms. Atamori says, additional, the Richmond Capitol is fenced fenced in and has only 4 small entrances open to the Capitol grounds, so people will be sitting ducks if something goes down. Kretcha says, my profile picture is an attempt at a meme. It's Pepe's evil, cousin, plotting the total takeover of the world. P.S. Don't talk about his power. Armor says, even worse, the back of the Capitol is blocked off, and there are 3 large construction cranes right behind the Capitol that would serve as an excellent platform for bad things to happen. And this is what I'm hoping does not happen over there. So I keep saying, put your head on, keep your head on a swivel. Everyone look out for each other. So, if you know anything about CERN, the particle collider over at CERN, it looks like New York is going to get their very own demon portal, and which is what we call it because the whole dark matter thing, and theories are people connect that with the Mandela effect is what the particle collider has to do with. So. This article goes on to say, on Thursday, the United States of Energy announced plans to build a cutting-edge nuclear physics research facility called the Electron Ion Collider, the EIC, at New York's Brookhaven National Laboratory. The EIC promises to keep America in the forefront of nuclear physics research and particle accelerator technology, critical components of overall U.S. leadership in science, U.S. Secretary of Energy Dan Brouillette said in a press release. This facility will deepen our understanding of nature, he added, and is expected to be the source of insights ultimately leading to new technology and innovation. The bigger project. The particle collider will cost an estimated $1.6 to $2.6 billion to build, and it likely won't be ready for use until 2030. However, once it is up and running, researchers will be able to use the EIC to smash beams of light energy electrons into protons and larger atomic nuclei, potentially unlocking new secrets of our physical world in the process. The Electron Ion Collider will open up a new frontier in nuclear physics, Brookhaven National Laboratory Director Dune Gibbs said in a press release, adding that the device will, quote, expand our knowledge of the fundamental constituents of the atoms that make up all visible matter in the universe today and the force that holds it all together. So, you guys want a demon portal in the United States? It looks like we've finally got one. It doesn't say New York's Brookhaven National Laboratory. You're from there. You probably... Oh, it's at Brookhaven, not Cornell. Yeah, I think it is on Long Island. Armori says they are also bearing signs from the Capitol grounds and have plans to create a free speech zone at the entrance of the Capitol grounds. When has free speech become a zone? That's a safe space, and I guess colleges have them for pansies that can't handle the truth. This article says the robots are coming, and they're going to take over millions of jobs. So we've warned about this. Infiltration of your Ring doorbells, and by the way, I'm going to say this since I'm on Facebook. And I'm going to say this, and if you're listening on Facebook, good. If you don't, oh well. But if you're on DLive and YouTube, you can hear this. In other states, there has been civil lawsuits against Ring and Amazon because police have gotten a back door to access Ring doorbells. An article came out on Fox 23 News, and it put it in my Discord. They talked about... the police departments can access the Ring doorbells. I told people that this has been going on for months in other states. For months. There's civil rights lawsuits against the police departments having access to the Ring doorbells. But everyone here in Oklahoma seems to think it's a great idea. Like I said, it's usually a lot slower here in the South. People aren't privy to what's going on. When artificial intelligence comes down here, the hillbillies will worship it like it's Jesus. They don't know what's going on. So... And not everyone from Oklahoma is a hillbilly, don't get me wrong. I don't even really sound like I'm from... I mean, I do, but I don't. But they think it's a good idea for the police departments in order to, solve homicides or to keep crime down in certain areas. In all the states where they have backdoor access contracts with Amazon or Ring to access your Ring doorbell, crime statistics have not gone down in those states that access Ring doorbells. That is a load of crap. They want total control over everything you do. They want to see you coming and going, everything that you do. They want to do everything. You guys, so the people in Oklahoma need to wake up, because it's starting to trickle down here. And like I was saying last night, in the Pacific Northwest, you can't even go over there and go into some convenience store without getting a facial recognition scan before entering into a gas station. In China, you cannot buy a cell phone unless you take a facial recognition scan, so that so you can unlock the phone and they know that that's your phone. All that information, your bio data, your metadata, your face scans, all of that stuff is logged into a computer, probably Google's quantum computing system, probably analyzed by artificial intelligence, and then logged and filed away, so that they're driving every aspect of your life. Not to mention them listening into your cell phones, your text messages, your emails, and then AG Bar wanting backdoor access to encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and the like. So if you don't think, and just because Trump is your president, he's either gone the end of this year or he gets 4 more years. It's whatever. After he's gone, you better believe they're going to try with everything they got to come in and take total control over, and then, just undo everything he's done, and then take total control to make sure that a person like him never gets voted in office again. And that is total control, artificial intelligence, Agenda 2030. You guys, the people in Oklahoma, you guys got to wake up. And they're probably not going to listen to this, and I probably pissed a bunch of you off yesterday on that thread, but I really don't give a damn, because y'all are asleep. So anyways, this article says the robots are coming and they're going to take over millions of jobs. If you don't know about this already, then you should. I'll go to the chat here in a minute, guys. I'm almost done. It says, when we get to the point where literally just about everything can be done more cheaply and more efficiently by robots, the elite won't have any use for the rest of us at all. For most of human history, the wealthy have needed the poor to do the work that is necessary to run their businesses and make them even wealthier. In this day and age, we like to call ourselves, quote, employees, but in reality, we are their servants. Some of us may be more well paid than others, but the vast majority of us are expending our best years serving their enterprises so that we can pay the bills. Unfortunately, that paradigm is rapidly changing, and many of the jobs that humans are doing today will be done by robots in the not-so-distant future. In fact, millions of human workers have already been displaced, and as you will see below, experts are warning that the job losses are likely to greatly accelerate in the years to come. There's your wonderful friends there. Say hello to your artificial intelligent overlords, everybody, because you're going to be answering to them one day. While your Ring Doorbell rats on you for a bench warrant that, gets you thrown in jail for 3 months when it could cost you $100 to pay off the fine. It might be just ticket warrants and you just forgot about it, and your Ring Doorbell scans your face and the cops show up at your house and you're like, who the hell called the cops on me? Well, your Ring Doorbell scanned your face. And if you don't believe that either, it's in Market Watch. There's an article in reference to Amazon and Ring Doorbell have considered putting facial recognition software inside the Ring Doorbells. So if you don't think that that's true either, I can post the article. It says competition with technology is one of the reasons why wage growth has been so stagnant over the past couple of decades. The only way it makes sense for an employer to hire you is if you can do a job less expensively than some form of technology can do it. As a result, close to 2/3 of the jobs that have been created in the United States over the past couple of decades have been low-wage jobs, and the middle class is being steadily hollowed out. But as robots continue to become cheaper and more efficient, even our lowest paying jobs will be vanishing in enormous numbers. Paul and I talked about this yesterday. If you live in California, you already know this. Domino's has autonomous delivery vehicles where you drives to your house, you punch in a number that you get on your phone after an order. It has an oven built in the back of it. It dings and slides your order out of it. So they're already delivering pizzas autonomously. I've covered articles where they want to shoot your medication up with a drone and carry it over to your house. We were making jokes about it yesterday, but it is becoming reality. So even if you're a delivery driver, those jobs are going to be gone. Factory jobs are going to be gone. The reason that they want to roll out 5G technology is because that technology will power all of these things while it's incinerating your insides via microwaves, basically, or smaller waves. If you don't believe any of this, just look up DARPA. Look who created DARPA. Look up Sound of Skull technology embedded in 5G. Look up all that crap. Look at 5G and its uses with Project Bluebeam. 5G needs to be implemented so that they can roll out the takeover, and they've got to do it fast. People are waking up, and the faster people wake up, the faster you're going to see these articles come out, the faster you'll see the takeover come out, and the faster you'll start seeing robots start taking over everything. Everything. While you're in debt and you can no longer get a job because of robots, replaced you at your place of business. It's going to talk about Walmart here. It says Walmart Incorporated, robot army is growing. The world's largest retailer will add shelf-scanning robots to 650 more U.S. stores by the end of the summer, bringing its fleet to 1,000. The 6-foot-tall Bossa Nova devices, equipped with 15 cameras each, roam aisles and send alerts to store employees. Handheld devices when items are out of stock, helping to solve a vexing problem that costs retailers nearly $1 trillion annually, according to researcher IHL Group. In addition to scanning shelves, Walmart already has a whole lot of robots doing such things as scrubbing floors, unloading trucks, and gathering grocery orders. We have the call-in service here in Oklahoma where I'm at. I don't know that they're doing the shopping yet per se, but they do have the autonomous floor cleaners now, and it's probably replaced some old retired man, who's working after he got a pension or something, for shits and gigs. But the article goes on to say the new robots designed by San Francisco-based Bossa Nova Robotics Incorporated join the ranks of Walmart's increasingly automated workforce, which also includes devices to scrub floors, unload trucks, and gather online grocery orders. Meanwhile, Walmart has been testing, quote, a new employee structure, which is intended to, quote, cut down the size of its store management staff. I was in Walmart the other day with my wife, and we were ringing up our own groceries, and this youngster walks by, and he says, he said something to me, and I looked at him and said, when am I getting my paycheck for this? And he didn't get it at first, and he was like, oh, it doesn't work like that. And I said, I was just wondering, since I'm the one doing all the work. Kids nowadays' sense of humor is kind of dry. It goes on to say Walmart is testing out a new employee structure within its stores in an attempt to cut down the size of its store management staff. And the nation's biggest employer is looking to see if it can have fewer medieval store managers overseeing workers, with these managers seeing both their responsibilities and their pay increase. So the employees that survive will get a, quote, pay increase to go with a huge increase in responsibility. But what about all the others that are having their jobs eliminated? Don't worry, because in an interview about the new initiative, one Walmart executive assured us that their employees, quote, like smaller teams. Associates like smaller teams, and they're like having a connection with the leader. They want something they can own and know if they are winning or losing every day. And today that does not always happen, Drew Holler, U.S. Senior Vice President of Associate Experience, said in an interview. Today, Walmart is the largest employer in the United States by a wide margin, but these coming changes will ultimately mean a lot more robot workers and a lot less human workers. Of course, countless other heartless corporations are implementing similar measures, and considering the fact that one recent survey found that 97% of U.S. CFOs believe that a recession is coming in 2020, we are likely to see a, quote, thinning of the ranks in company after company as this year rolls along. Sadly, even if there was no economic downturn coming, we would continue to lose jobs to robots. According to one study, a whopping 45% of current jobs can be automated. And I think I read an article before where it said by a certain period in time, up to 70-something% of the jobs will be gone by 2024. Some crazy. It says, here's the truth. Robots are already starting to take jobs from hourly human workers, and it's going to continue. Research from McKinsey found 45% of current jobs can be automated. We need to stop avoiding the situation and create real solutions to help displace workers. In this day and age, no worker is safe. I know someone that gave his heart and soul to a big corporation for many years, and then one day he was called into the office when he arrived for work and he was out of a job by lunch. He hadn't done anything wrong at all. It is just that his heartless corporate bosses had decided to eliminate his position throughout the entire company. If you think that they actually care about you, then you are fooling yourself. Unfortunately, the job losses are going to keep accelerating. In fact, It is being projected that approximately 20 million manufacturing jobs around the globe will be taken over by robots by the year 2030. Better find out a grind, ladies and gentlemen. Robots could take over 20 million manufacturing jobs around the world by 2030, economists claimed on Wednesday. According to a new study from Oxford Economics, within the next 11 years, there could be 14 million robots put to work in China alone to go along with their smart cities that they're building over there, as well as South Africa. And if you don't believe that, you can go look up that as well. Xi Jinping is taking over South Africa, and he's building factories and smart cities down there as well. All this is a part of Agenda 2030. Oust the human beings, keep very few human beings to do the jobs that the humans used to do, or keep very few humans to work on the robots, and then cull the rest of the herd, or just make people so depressed that they, get rid of themselves and all that type of stuff, because they don't any longer have a way to feed their families. So this is Agenda 2030. If you don't believe it, read about Agenda 2030. This isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It's admitted in everything. You can find the paperwork. As a matter of fact, yesterday, Paul and I had a conversation in a podcast you can find on anywhere podcasts are available under the Kingsman Report. And on YouTube, we had a long conversation about the book that he found and he sent over to us, and we started reading. It's called The Unfinished Agenda from 1977 by the Rockefeller Brother Foundation. It talks about this stuff in its entirety from 1977. Paul even went on to say that you can find copies of this online dating back to the 50s. This plan has been here for a long time. We've gotten overpopulated in their eyes. There's no way they can tame all of us. So they got to start rolling this Agenda 2030 out ASAP. It's not slowing down anytime soon. So as soon as we hit 2020, every article is vaccinations, every article is robotics, space, aliens, UFOs. They're starting to desensitize you to the information so it's easily accepted and you just roll with the punches. So when all of it happens, they can say, well, we warned you it was coming. So the article goes on to say, as a result of robotization, tens of millions of jobs will be lost, especially in poor local economies that rely on lower skilled workers. This will therefore translate to an increase in income inequality, the study author said. The good news is that the full extent of this ominous scenario is not likely to completely play out. The bad news is that this is because our society is rapidly moving toward complete and utter collapse. I wish that there was an easy solution for this growing problem. In a free market system, should anyone be trying to mandate that employees must hire human workers? But if millions upon millions of men and women can't feed their families because they don't have a job, that will create the sort of social nightmare that we cannot even imagine right now. Maybe this is why they want to take the firearms. It goes on to say this is something that all of the 2020 presidential candidates should be talking about, because this is a crisis that is spinning out of control and is getting worse with every passing day. The link to that article is in the YouTube section. It's also in my Discord for the guys that hang out here on DLive. I posted that article there. So, since we're talking about robots, this article here is rentable facial recognition robots coming to a conference near you. And here's your creepy little robots here, ladies and gentlemen. They're nice little AI overlords. So it says conference goers now have to be wary about robots, that robots will identify them everywhere they go. Corporations can now rent Chinese-made CloudMinds robots that identify everyone on the conference floor. It says CloudMind's mission is to, quote, make helpful robot services possible and make them safe, secure, and affordable, while their hidden mission is to help governments identify everyone. According to CloudMind's About Us page, their so-called values are to convince employees, moms, dads, and their children to trust rentable emotion and facial recognition robots. We make helpful robot. Their Rent a Robot program allows business owners to choose between Cloud Pepper and the XR-1 emotion and facial recognition robots. The Cloud Pepper robot, based on SoftBank Robotics, is being billed as one of the world's first personal humanoid robots, the first of its kind of a novel humanoid robot. This robot is able to converse, dance, answer questions, and even suggest related products. With the addition of the Herix AI platform, we are able to add functionality to SoftBank's Pepper robot. These added functionalities include facial recognition, emotion recognition, text-to-speech, weather data, and with many more to come. There's videos here. I can't play these. I'll get a copyright strike on YouTube. What makes these robots truly frightening is that they will have access to an ever-growing number of skills, will work together to share information. As Cloud9 CEO Bill Hong said in a Scientific American article, quote, millions of robots can share this brain or cloud network and train and learn together. What does this mean for privacy? Once your image is uploaded in the cloud, other robots can use it to identify you wherever you go. Any AI system connected to the cloud gives Big Brother the ability to identify an individual in milliseconds, meaning there will be nowhere left to hide. Since its inception in 2015, Cloud9's robots have spread to 6 continents in 25 countries, with major offices in the US, China, and Japan. Cloud9's quote industry page also revealed that they plan on using emotion and facial recognition robots in stores, hotels, hospitals, sporting events, movie theaters, transportation hubs, and restaurants. So it's not just what they're trying to sell it to you as. Their industry also says that they can basically use these narc robots to hang out. So if you want to go off grid and you want to run from the powers that be and try to hide from them, they're going to collect all your biometric data, all your everything, your text, your phone calls, everything's going to be hidden inside there. And if you decide you want to travel, they're going to implement these things everywhere. So you can't travel to a hotel because it's going to get to a cashless society. You're not going to be able to rent a hotel. If you get sick and you're not working like, you know, the regular peasants that are forced to get a job, then you can't go to hospital. You can't enjoy a sporting event, a movie theater. You can't get on a public transportation anywhere, and you can't even go sit down and eat anywhere because they're going to implement robots everywhere that's just scanning crowds of people and getting your biometric data. So you're going to be screwed regardless. It says biometric companies need to convince the public that emotion and facial recognition can be trusted. Corporations are in the business of making money, and they do that by selling your biometric identity to advertisers, data miners, and governments. And if you don't believe that's true either, for instance, 23andMe, they've been taking your DNA from your mouth swabs, and they've been selling it to companies that produce medications, and they've been producing medications from your genome, your DNA. They've been making medications out of that. I told everybody, don't be putting your spit DNA on 23andMe or Ancestry to find out your genealogy, which they're probably just, let's tell this guy that he's from Zimbabwe and he's whiter than the page on your screen right there. I mean, they're collecting it so that they can create medications out of it. It's not, and then they're selling, I'm sure they're selling that data. They've already warned the military, do not be using 23andMe or Ancestry.com. Don't be using the DNA test. So they've warned our military. If anytime they warn the military, don't do that stuff, you probably should take the advice that they're giving to the military and don't use this stuff. So the article even goes on to say, thank you for your contribution to science for creating these new medications that'll be beneficial to mankind. So thank you if you swabbed your mouth and gave your DNA over to the companies that lied to you and sold it out from under you and gave it to corporations to make medications. Thank you. No amount of trust can hide the fact that biometric identification is about knowing who you are and where you are at all times. It is not too late to tell the corporations and governments that we no longer believe their lies. But if you want to believe their lies, it's on you. Believe away. Believe away. I'm going to get to the chat here in a second, fellas and ladies. So this is where we're at right now. And if you haven't, okay, so if you look at this thumbnail here, do you guys notice the hidden symbology inside the thumbnail? Tell me if you can see the symbology I hid in the thumbnail. You see one at the bottom of the tombstone and one over to, it would be my left. Yeah, it'll be your guys' left. There's 2 hidden symbols inside that thumbnail. If you can find it, put it in the chat. Let me know what it is. So this secretive surveillance company is selling cops' cameras hidden in gravestones, which we talked about this yesterday. We've talked about this on D-Live throughout the week. I mean, I'm not, it's awkward. Okay. So Special Services Group also offer cameras hidden in child restraints and vacuum cleaners. This came out January 9th, 2020. And it's from Motherboard Tech by Vice. Here's their lovely emblem there for all you who recognize this beauty right here. Isn't that cute? So if you find that emblem in the thumbnail, if you think you can find that emblem, those two hidden symbols inside that, let me know. Put it in the chat. So it says a surveillance vendor that works with U.S. government agencies such as the FBI, the DEA, and ICE is marketing spying capabilities to police departments, including cameras that are hidden inside a tombstone, a baby car seat, and a vacuum cleaner. The brochure highlights some of the capabilities to offer law enforcement agencies, from the novel to the sometimes straight-up bizarre. I think one of the biggest concerns I have is about the cost, size, capabilities of these devices. They keep getting cheaper, smaller, and more capable at all the time, and it's likely that only law enforcement will be the only actors using them. Freddie Martinez, a policy analyst from Government Accountability Group, Open the Government, who obtained the brochure through a public records request, told Motherboard in an email. The public records request has filed with the Irvine Police Department in California. Beryl Lipton of the government transparency nonprofit Muckrock also obtained the document using a FOIA request. So you can see right here it says Tombstone Cam. The Tombstone Cam is our newest video concealment, offering the ability to conduct remote surveillance operations from cemeteries. The Tombstone is offered as a concealment only or as a complete all-in-one system with PTZ video, edge recording, and optimal audio and full power. The all-inclusive system can be deployed for approximately 2 days with the included PB180 Li-Fi PO4 battery. The Tombstone Cam is fully portable and can be easily moved from location to location as necessary. So Special Services Group, the vendor behind the brochure, does not advertise its products publicly. Its logo is the floating eye in the pyramid logo. Like I said, can you guys tell me what is inside of, what hidden emblems I put inside the thumbnail there? If you spot it, let me know in the chat. I'm going to go over to the chat right here. Brushpiler found it. The all-seeing eye. And there's another one. Tell me if you can see that one too. So it says Special Services Group, the vendor behind the brochure, does not advertise its products publicly. Its logo is the floating eye in a pyramid logo, which Brushpiler found that one. And it's to the left of the, in the thumbnail, it's going to be to the left. You can barely see it. It's very faint in there. There's another one in front of the tombstone there, if you can find it. It says seen on the back of the $1 bill, which conspiracy theorists associate with the Illuminati, and the company's slogan is Constant Vigilance. The company is so secretive that when asked for comment for this story, it threatened Vice with legal action if we published this article. The brochure is available here. So this link is in my Discord. If you guys want to click on this brochure, I can click on it now if you want, and we could look at it. Let's click on it now. Yep, it's the messianic symbol there. So here's their, it's the square and compass. That's very faint in front of the tombstone. So here's their brochure, Vigilant Solutions. And you guys can go check that out. So it goes on to say, the company is so secretive. Okay, so the brochure is available there. It says, due to the critical missions of our customers, we have chosen not to place our product information on our website. Please use the contact section of our site to request more information. The company's website reads. Special Services Group says on its website that it caters to law enforcement and government agencies, but not easily exclusive. The website adds it also works with select clients. The brochure, dubbed Black Book by its authors, contains a cornucopia of surveillance devices. Do you have any other interesting surveillance brochures? We'd love to hear from you. You guys can go there. If you want to grab the link, you can go there. It says this Tombstone Cam is our newest video concealment, offering the ability to conduct remote surveillance operations from cemeteries. So this is my question. Why would you want to conduct remote surveillance operations from cemeteries? Are mobsters like hanging out at the cemeteries still like they do in the movies? Or like they do in that one TV show that I like to watch? I mean, that would be the only reason why I could think that they want to do remote surveillance, is because they think mobsters still hang out at cemeteries. It says one section of the Black Book reads, the device can also capture audio. Its battery can last for 2 days, and the, quote, Tombstone Cam is fully portable and easily removed from location to location as necessary. The brochure adds another product is a video and audio capturing device that looks like an alarm clock, suitable for, quote, hotel room stings, and other cameras are designed to appear like small tree trunks and rocks, the brochure reads. So if you see any ominous rocks that look new around your property, the fuzz is probably watching you. The ShopVac converted DVR recording system is essentially a camera and a 1 terabyte hard drive hidden inside of a vacuum cleaner. An AC power connector is available for long-term deployments, and DC powered options can be connected for mobile deployments also. The brochure reads, it says, it goes on to say, the description does not say whether the vacuum cleaner itself works, and it appears to do the same or similar product as the DEA purchased from Special Service Group in 2018, as courts previously reported. One of the company's rapid vehicle deployment kits includes a camera hidden inside of a baby car seat, and the system is fully portable, so you're not restricted to the same drop car for each mission, the description adds. So here's a description of the ShopVac, and you can read that if you want to. It says, certainly the idea of the Tombstone camera seems pretty far out there. I don't think I've seen a baby seat as a covert camera before either, Martinez added. The so-called K-mic in-mouth microphone, a speaker set, is a tiny Bluetooth device that sits on a user's teeth and allows them to communicate hands-free in crowded, noisy surroundings with near zero visual indications, the Black Book adds. Other products include more traditional surveillance cameras and lenses, as well as tools for surreptitiously gaining entry into buildings. And the Phantom RFID exploitation toolkit lets a user clone an access card or fob, and the so-called Shadow product can covertly provide the user with PIN code to an alarm panel, the brochure reads. When Motherboard asked Special Services Group for comment, the company did not respond. Shortly later, though, a lawyer representing the company wrote a strongly worded legal email demanding Motherboard not report on the brochure. The lawyer claimed that the brochure was protected under the International Traffic and Arms Regulation, the ITAR, a set of rules that regulates the export of munitions as well as copyright. So it says, this is a notice that the information contained in this file may include copyrighted material, confidential trade secret information, and or ITAR restricted information whose release may be subject the releasing parties to civil and possibly criminal liability, and we will assist in prosecution to the fullest extent of law, both in the United States, the United Kingdom, and abroad, of any persons who knowingly disseminates, facilitates, and or releases this information in violation of the law. One part of the email in bold and all caps reads, the lawyer sent a separate email to Muckrock, the transparency nonprofit, also threatening legal action, and the lawyer said if Motherboard published this article, which again is an advertisement and promotional catalog for a company's services, it would put law enforcement at risk. It suggests recent world events, perhaps referring to a heightening of tensions in Iran, is a particular concern. The lawyer provided no specifics or evidence to support the claim that publishing a list of cameras of the company that the company sells would put anyone in danger. In 2014, the U.S. Secret Service paid Special Forces Group over $820,000 for mobile video platform kits. And it says in a quote here, "Please understand that while I understand a desire for government transparency, the release of the information could result in a very serious jeopardy to the lives of law enforcement and military users of the technology, right now in particular due to recent world events. The responsibility for any resulting harm should go ahead and assist in the dissemination of this information to wider public audience. While we have never known exactly where or how it damages innocent people, we fall squarely on our shoulders," the lawyer wrote. From releasing this information to the public, the Irvine Police Department had a law firm called Rutan and Tucker perform a full disclosure review. The city's lawyers determined that some separate documents not associated with Special Services Group needed to be redacted or held back for security reasons, but ultimately determined that Special Forces Group, quote, black book was safe to be released and that publishing it was in the, quote, public interest. Special Service Group has relationships with a wide range of U.S. agencies. In all, the company has held deals worth $2.6 million with over 24 U.S. agencies, according to public procurement data. In 2014, the U.S. Secret Service paid a Special Services Group over $820,000 for mobile video platform kits. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, paid the company over $1 million across several years for surveillance cameras, the records show. Special Services Group also sold GPS trackers to ICE, the records added. In 2017, the company provided the Portville Police Department in California a quote for surveillance cameras, and Cliff Emery, Special Services Group co-founder and CEO, sits on the board of directors of the Washington chapter of National Defense Industry Association, the NDIA. A nonprofit focused on national security. Special Services Group exhibits a high-profile law enforcement conferences such as the UK's annual security and policing event. The brochure and the company's successful government contracts show that, even though some of these devices are out of the ordinary, there is certainly a market and appetite among law enforcement to convert surveillance devices. The brochure reflects another one from British surveillance vendor Cobham, which included a camera housed inside a trash can. The city of Irvine did not respond to a request for comment. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this. If you want to call, I'm an hour and 22 in. If you want to call in, the number scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That number is 1-408-638-0968. Enter the meeting ID 534-233-4758. I will screen those phone calls as well. When you call, you'll be placed in a hold room if you want to call in. So, Adam says, haha, Shotvac HQs is based where I am too. This will get them sued. More than vacuums, I guess, from Adam. Paul says, good for you, Kingsman, bringing this to light. If they weren't doing wrong, why need a lawyer? Exactly my point. If you're not doing anything nefarious with these devices, now it's out here. So if you're putting the crap in people's yards, they're gonna find out about it. It goes on to say, Brushpiler says, I'll be a little weary of them door-to-door vacuum salesmen from now on. Parvir says, should be legal for ICE. Illegals have no rights. They are, quote, illegal, just don't get it wrong. And here's the deal with the whole legal aliens thing here. The people who are legal aliens came here because they went through the process of becoming a United States citizen. So when you liberal dumbtards out there start saying stuff like, oh, we love the illegal aliens, let the illegal aliens in, you're using a term illegal. It's illegal for them to be here, okay? So they're illegal. We're not wrong for saying they need to go through the process. I believe everyone that lives in this country's family, probably, unless you are native to this country, probably went through Ellis Island through a process to become a citizen of this country. We all did it, so anyone coming into the country should probably go through the same process. I'm just saying. So I'll give it a minute. I'll hang out in the chat here with you guys. If there's anything you want to talk about, any articles you want to share, shoot them over into the chat. If you want to call in, the number scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you want to send emails specifically to me, kingsmanreport2019@gmail.com. And like I said, if you want to call in at 1-408-638-0968. I'll screen those phone calls. You guys can talk about these topics. Paul and I touched a little bit on this yesterday. Also, if you guys want to listen to this in podcast form, you can go anywhere podcasts are available, or you can go to anchor.fm/Kingsman Report, and you can listen to it there, where you can also become a monthly donor if you decide you want to support the podcast that way. I don't make any money off YouTube. What I make on D-Live, I pretty much spread it out among the guys that I like. We're just trying to get this going. RSN says, RSN32914 says, "Good sweet Lord, thank you." Look, if they're not using these devices for reasons unknown to us, for one, why would you put it in a baby car seat? Why would you? So they can just say, plant that rock over there. They'll never know. And then if they're not hacking your Ring doorbell, since I said, the people in Oklahoma think it's awesome that that the police are allowed to have access to your Ring doorbell. They think it's great here in Oklahoma, where I'm at. It's not great. They're taking over everything. So pay attention to what's going on, everybody. The AI's taking your jobs. The AI's watching your Ring doorbell. They're going to implement robots that can be placed everywhere that scan everything, put it into a database, and report that back. And it's housed via artificial intelligence and quantum computing. So it's crazy. I don't know if our Virginians are still in the chat here. Last one, Artemori said 100K. Second Amendment supporters standing safe close to the Capitol still makes the point. You're exactly right. So we got that going on over there too, guys. So continue to pray for the people in Virginia. If my Virginians are listening, Oklahoma stands with you guys. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel. We'll be praying for you also. But I would like to definitely talk to people that are over there. I know Dabu7 has said that he's going to go over and stream IRL over there and support it that way too. So you guys be sure to watch his streams whenever he's out there, and pray for him as well, because he's putting his neck out there being on the streets. Paul Revere 11 says they know it's against the constitutions. That's why they hired a lawyer. Illegal search and seizure, which is a violation of your Fourth Amendment. And here's the thing with the corporations. So this is what I got into an argument with the people on Facebook yesterday. The people on Facebook say it's a good idea that police have access to your artificial intelligence. Some of the people in the state are a little slow. Some people, they don't mind the NSA looking at your phone calls, your emails, your text message. They don't mind that. They're not doing it to help you or to benefit you. If they think you're a terrorist, that system thinks everyone that bucks the system or goes against the system is a terrorist. So you're pretty much screwed on that. It's not a good idea if they access your information. It is absolutely a civil rights violation, a constitutional rights violation. It is a legal search and seizure. This means that at any given time they can just look at whatever you're doing whenever they want to. And like I've said before, other civil rights organizations in other states have been filing lawsuits against Amazon and against Ring doorbells because of this very thing. When they start using it for nefarious reasons and they start bringing it over to your, to the state you're in, Oklahoma, I pray that you wake up, man. You got guys out here like me, and we'll put our neck on the line for this stuff, but you guys, I mean, come on. Hang on a second. I'm going over to D-Live. I don't know what's going on over here because I'm monitoring it on YouTube. Hang on, bear with me. Oh, thank you for the lemons, not my child, Sky. I don't know if anyone else donated over here. So anyone that made donations on D-Live, I appreciate it too. RSN32914 says, right, but is there anything in the print when you set the ring up to actually stating that it is possible and that you are consenting? No, so here's what's happened. And you can read the previous articles. What has happened is initially the terms of service were that kind of like with your listening devices, they've conveniently sold to us that we place in our house, right? They change. What they do is the government hires corporations to violate your constitutional rights, so that the government isn't accountable for violating the Constitution. You would have to sue the corporations and not the government. The government hides corporations. So when our founding fathers were talking about corporations rising up around us and taking over the foundation in which they spilled their blood to save for us or to set for generations to come, this is what they're talking about, right? So there's another quote. There's plenty of quotes. Thomas Jefferson talks about corporations. So what they've done, instead of separation of corporations and government, the government hires corporations like Microsoft, for instance, owns, I think it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think it's called, the cloud is called Jedi, that Microsoft has a contract with the government for. And that what they do is they house all the government's intel in this cloud. I think Bezos had it before. He lost the contract. He threatened to sue Trump over it because Trump doesn't like him. That was recent as last year that came out. So the government now hires corporations. So when a corporation puts something out there, these are the terms of service, but most people don't read the terms of service. When you download an app, most people aren't reading what's in the terms of service, and then you're allowing access to the phone or to the microphone, to the camera, to the pictures, to the contacts, all the information on the phone. You're not reading anything, all the biometric data that they're gathering from the phone, whether it's facial scans to get unlocked on there, whether it's your fingerprints to unlock the phone. They're gathering all that intel. They go in and they change the terms of service to where it's beneficial towards them. They don't send you out an alert that says, we're changing our terms of service. YouTube does that now, but they'll just straight tell you we're screwing you over. So YouTube has gotten brazen by doing it. But most places don't tell you when they change the terms of service. And there's been all the Russian apps. There's one called Alibaba or whatever the hell it is over in Iranian. So Russian apps, Iranian apps, Chinese apps that people are downloading. The most notorious one is going to be your LED flashlights that you can download app for your phone. Those are all intel gathering applications. TikTok, any of those things is gathering all that. There's the app where you can age yourself, so you look young at one point and then older at another. That is taking a facial scan of your face and it's logging that into a computer somewhere. It's all of this stuff is intel gathering. So to answer your question, is there anything in the print when you set the Ring up to actually stating that it is possible and that you are consenting? No, because they changed the terms of service. When it initially came out, there was some stuff. Like Alexa has a way that you can turn off the listening microphone to where she's not listening all the time. I don't think it works, but that's what they tell you to. Parvir says your brainwaves, and he also says via streetlights, Li-Fi. Yeah, wait till they roll that Li-Fi out, ladies and gentlemen. You think you're getting it good right now from microwaves if you've lived in, 5G towns. Wait till you get some of that Li-Fi in your life, where it's just, extending your internet service anywhere and just beaming down internet service from everywhere. You can't see radio waves. You can't see any of the low emissions frequency waves that come from your laptop, your TV, and all that stuff, but it's frying your brain. And then on top of that, I play a video from a Dr. Assad who talks about in his video, they conveniently put a blue light filter inside your cell phones, and they tell you by looking at your cell phone that you need to have a filter on it because it's bad on your eyes and it's bad on your brain. Well, it's come out that this doctor explains in a video that I play on my DLive channel. He explains that animals are most active. They're most active. They hunt more under blue light. So they reproduce more, they hunt more, and they're more violent during blue light. So they're pumping all this misinformation, all this emotional information through your cell phone. You're constantly staring at it, and you're now using a blue filter on your cell phone because they told you it was a good idea. So when you're staring at that phone, you're getting penetrated with blue light filter. There's no wonder you're feeling emotions about what you're reading on your cell phone, or why you're emotional all the time, or why you're depressed all the time. It's altering your brain pattern. It's what it's created for. I mean, they had to put something in there for a way to track you pretty much right away. Listen to you, access your phone, contacts, access your camera, access your microphone. Everything's listening to you. So now when you die, you can get a lovely camera placed on your tombstone to spy for the federales. Because that's where we're at. Paul's going to say something about this, what I'm about to do. I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. So that's where we're at. If nobody wants to call in tonight, then I am going to go ahead and jump off here for the night for all the platforms for tonight. If you've watched this on Facebook, it automatically deletes. I don't save them there, but I'll put the link over there to this video when it uploads to YouTube. So I'm going to sign off on everything. I'm going to work on getting this uploaded probably later tonight, tomorrow. But I'm going to sign off, and then I'm going to jump back on, guys. If you want to hang out on D-Live, then we can hang out and watch videos and do what we do on D-Live. So until next time, you guys. No, Mountain P. I know. I'm sure I'll hear it from you later. So until next time, you guys in Virginia, keep your head on a swivel. We're going to continue to pray for you and support you in any way. If you guys want to contact me via email, and we can set up maybe a podcast to do. And I'm continually watching you guys over there. So until next time, guys, take care of each other, love one another. Shalom and Yah bless.
I wasn't missing a thing, no, I do. And I wish that I could build a time machine. 'Cause time moves on, and now you're gone. Oh, if only I could build a time machine, I'd come and get you. I can't forget you. I miss you, I miss you, I miss you all the time. I wish that you were mine. I miss you, I miss you, I miss you all the time. I wish that you were mine. Jet